be seated.
Hooray!
What a glorious day for Merced County. I am so proud to be here today to make this dedication. Before I get to speak a little bit about Sheriff Bowling, Sheriff Bill Amos is in the back. He was Sheriff Bowling's undersheriff at the time I got hired back in 1979. Thank you for being here, Bill. Thank you. And a group that I'm very proud of and to be a part of is just an understatement. The Merced County Sheriff's Posse is here, and you guys probably realize the history behind that, but the Merced County Sheriff's Posse has paid for this monument in front of the building. I want to thank the posse very much. Thank you guys for doing this. Back in 1979, when I became a deputy sheriff, Jess Pooch Bowling was the sheriff at the time. Lots of change has happened between then and now. And for me to be standing here as your sheriff, to be talking about the sheriff that hired me, is kind of surreal. This dedication was actually the brainchild of Lieutenant Chuck Hale. He is our commander for this office, and I thank you very much for this. I've invited some folks to speak a little bit at this time. Retired Chief Mike Hughes from the Los Banos Police Department, who actively worked with Pooch for many years. Chief, where are you? Chief Mike Hughes, retired.
I think this is a truly great day in Los Banos to see this substation reopen. There are two things about it. We always need law enforcement on the west side of Merced County, and the closing of this years ago was, I think, one of the poorest moves that we've ever made. I've talked with Vern for a long time, and he's promised that he would get it back, and I'm just happy to be here this day that he reopens it. And the fact that that this is going to be named after Sheriff Pooch Bowling, who was I worked with when I started in Los Banos back in 1972. They actually worked out of our office in the back. So there are two good things happening today, and I think it's a great day for the west side of the county.
Our District 5 Supervisor, Scott Silvera.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to welcome you guys. I do, again, want to express some big thanks to Lieutenant Hale, who I know has been the driving force behind getting this deal done. We've been talking for months now, and as a matter of fact, this weekend he was out here at probably about 6 o'clock in the morning when they were getting this nice new sod laid down, which should make Mayor Villalta pretty happy. I know his office is right across the street here, and we've been in constant communication on what was going to happen and when we were going to get this building done. And so, Chuck, thank you so much. Sheriff, thank you for your leadership in putting Chuck into a position to be able to make this happen. And I'm just excited. We're taking something that, you know, the courthouse moved along, and now we've renovated this building, and we've now made it functional, not only for the Sheriff's Department, but probation, the DA's office, and there's one more in there. So I'm just excited. This is part of, you know, bringing services to the west side, and it makes it so we have now this Justice Center, I'm calling it, and that folks kind of one-stop shopping. So I'm excited about it, and probably the part that I'm most excited about is that the sheriff has graciously offered me a little bit of space here at the substation, that I can kind of have an office to be able to keep district hours. So when folks want to meet with me, we can do it right here. They don't have to come to Merced, or we don't have to go meet at the coffee shop. We can come down here, and we have a quiet place to meet. So again, Sheriff, thank you guys. Thank you for taking something old and making it new again. And thank you to all the deputies that are out here today in this memorial service. So thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Lieutenant Chuck Hale, who is our West Side Commander of Operations for our JBS, our Jess Bowling Station.
First thing I want to do is get a couple of important people up here. Shirley Foley and Jalisha Zora, Sheriff Bowling's daughter and granddaughter. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gathered here today to not only give a building a name, but to pay tribute to a dedicated man that was passionate about his family, his career, and this area that some of us call home on the west side. Jess Bowling has been described by most as a true pioneer in law enforcement. He's even been described as a last true lawman. In learning about him, I can truly look around today and see some of the visions that he had for the future. Sheriff Bowling was born in Oklahoma on August 23rd, 1924. When he was 11 years old, he moved to Dos Palace. I'm being told he literally lived in a tent when he first moved to Dos Palace. Shirley's house now sits on the property that he pitched that tent on. Amazing. He attended local schools and later married Darlene Dorrell in 1945. In 1953, Sheriff Bowling began his journey in law enforcement. He began working for the Dos Palace Police Department. He would later venture over to Outwater in 1956, and in 1958, then Sheriff John LaRocca gave him a call and offered him a job as a resident deputy on the west side of Merced County. For those of you who don't know what a resident deputy is, there was two back in those days, one in the Gustine area, the other in Dos Palace. Those were the only two sheriff law enforcement officials working. They basically left their house when they were called to an incident. One of the most fitting facts about Sheriff Bowling's career as it relates to his dedication is his appointment to station commander for the newly created Los Banos substation in 1962. He was the very first. It's quite clear that Sheriff Bowling had a passion for his job and a real desire to serve the community. After 15 years with assignments that included resident deputy, patrol deputy, the first ever canine deputy, detective, sergeant, lieutenant, a detective lieutenant, he was appointed to undersheriff. That was not the end for Sheriff Bowling. In 1974, he was named acting sheriff. Later that year, Jess Pooch Bowling was elected sheriff by the citizens of Merced County, all still while residing on the west side of Merced County in Dos Palace. Sheriff Bowling served the citizens of Merced County as a sheriff until his retirement in 1980. His credits are long, but to name a few, he oversaw the creation of the county's very first 24-hour patrol. He hired the first female deputy. He established and created the corrections division that we now know today. He established a communications division and started several crime prevention programs that are still in effect today. Retired District 5 Supervisor Jerry O'Banion couldn't be here today. He was instrumental in this process before leaving office, and he has a few words that he'd like me to express. I'm sure that all of you have great memories and stories of Jess Pooch Bowling, as I do. Growing up in politics in Dos Palace, I had the honor of seeing Sheriff Bowling in action. He was one of the most compassionate individuals that I have ever known. He helped many in law enforcement by showing them how to be stern, but at the same time, showing compassion. He truly cared about everyone. Sheriff Bowling was genuinely one of a kind. It was an honor working with Sheriff Warnke and Lieutenant Hale in making this day a reality. I really believe that there was no one else more dedicated, concerned, and caring for the West Side and all of Merced County. Sheriff Bowling's home has been and always was the West Side. This building will serve as an ongoing reminder of Sheriff Bowling's dedication to law enforcement and the citizens of Merced County. It was an honor to work with the Sheriff's Office on one of my final projects as your District 5 Supervisor. And then there's a few people that I'd like to especially thank for making this day possible. Our Board of Supervisors, first and foremost, CEO Jim Brown, thank you. The construction company, Marco Construction, I'm sure I was a pain in your rear, but thank you, it's beautiful. Most of all, Shirley Foley. She's been instrumental in providing information, keepsakes, and historical facts about a legendary lawman whose name will be on this building, is on this building. And you'll see some of those in a few minutes when we go inside. This entire building is now known as the Sheriff Pooch Bowling Criminal Justice Center. We share it with our friends from the District Attorney's Office, the Probation Department, and the Public Defender's Office. Furthermore, our station is now known as Jess Bowling Station. Please join me and the bowling family in honoring the achievements, commitment, and a lifetime of public service. You guys do the honors.
Pretty nice, huh? Shirley, would you like to say anything? You don't have to. All right. All right. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing this moment with us and actually getting some of the history back here. Even though I worked for them for a very short period of time, I didn't know the history part of it, and it's a really nice touch when you folks, and I'm going to invite you in to take a look at some of this stuff, but I'd really appreciate it if you guys could come in and take a look. And Shirley, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This will conclude our ceremony. So ladies and gentlemen, if you please, if you want to take a quick tour of our establishment, come on inside. There's some refreshments to be had, and probation is also invited some of you to go in there if you want to take a look. Now imagine there's a couple of you already know what the inside of probation looks like. Huh, Leroy? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to